Hi, everyone. This is Franco from Real Review Hub, continuing our One Funnel Away challenge. For those that have been following along, you know, it's myself and my buddy Frank. He's away on business, so I'm going to recap the last week of the 30-day challenge. And it was a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot to juggle between real work, family, and, you know, doing our homework every night. So briefly, talk about week four, mission one, the three types of traffic it was talking about. Okay. And it talked about, if it was cold traffic, warm traffic, or hot traffic, right? So if you have cold traffic and you're running ads to cold traffic, they're really not going to buy from you, right? Because they're not looking for that specific thing you're trying to sell. You know, warm traffic, you might get a couple of people to click over, but it's really your hot traffic is what you're really trying to target your audience, you know. And they talked about, basically finding your area, okay? Going on different Facebook groups they talked about. And they gave us a little area to write that down, and Facebook pages and different forums you believed in, and popular blogs or podcasts, YouTube channels, okay, Instagram channels. These are all things that they've really started discussing. You know, it really was a lot of information this week. Really was. So again, the three types of traffics, the traffics you can control. Also, were your ads, right? The three types of traffic, your ads, you physically can control it. Traffic you earn is basically like your social media, whatever it is, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, okay? And then traffic you own is your list. So obviously, the best type of traffic is your own, right? It costs you, you already acquired that customer, and you can sell the other things down the line. And then they talked about, different places for your funnels to kind of areas you can kind of drop it into. In your email signatures, for instance, which was really a different one. Friends and family, your profiles, other platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Medium. I don't really use a lot professionally LinkedIn because I am a teacher. But my buddy Frank was in the business world. He uses LinkedIn a lot, so that would be helpful for him. Then mission 2 of week 4 talked about the Dream 100, right? Basically, your top dream people that would help you, your audience, to sell your product. Okay, if it's a physical product, if it's a coaching, or whatever it is, right? So what they talked about here really was, create the list. And they gave you a great worksheet, and it really goes 1 to 100, as you can see. And at first, I really felt overwhelmed. And I was like, okay, well, I first started with Facebook. And I actually started believe it, at work during my lunch. I was like, you know what, 100, I don't know if I can do this. And you know what, after about 15, 20 minutes, I really had about 50 of my Dream 100 people already, which I thought I would never get to. And I actually got over 100, believe it or not, okay? So it's actually, once you start really looking into it and getting into the groove, you can really find your Dream 100 people. Okay, and again, this was really helpful to actually just write this down. And I actually went a step farther, and what I ended up doing was I actually created an Excel document in Google, right? So Google Sheets, and so that way Frank and I could work back and forth. And all I did was, I copied the link, pasted it in there, and I broke it down by like Facebook or Instagram influencers or bloggers, and so that way it was easier just to go back and forth. So I started with the paper like they showed here, and then I went one step further, and I thought that was super, super helpful, right? That way you can kind of figure out what your niche audience is really going to be. Are you going to, go into a forum that's specific to, let's say, wellness, and you're going to start talking in there, or has to do with, maybe you're selling supplements, right? And maybe you're gonna respond to some questions in a blog post or something like that. Okay. So that, again, that was mission 2, week 4. Mission 3, week 4, talked about earning your way, right? And this was super, super important. Um, and what they talked about here, and I'll show you in here was, Russell basically talked about pick one platform, right, to earn your way in. If it's blogs, or is it podcast, or is it YouTube, right? And think of your dream 100 people when you're doing this, okay? What are you going to share to make things interesting, right? If you, for instance, maybe there's a let's say some type of Facebook group that you're into, and we'll go with, I don't know, supplements, right? For dieting. Let's go with the keto stuff. Everyone's really big popular with keto, right? And if you go in there, you want to answer questions in there. What's your hook to get in there? What are you going to share with that person, that the admin to that thing, or your audience, okay? And it's going to start like a grassroots thing, right? People are going to start to believe in you and follow you if you really can give them some education in there, okay? Then Julie talked about, find something that resonates with them, and you can run with it, right? What's it in for them, for your dream 100 people? Why should they allow you to blog on their blog post, or to answer questions, or your podcast? What really, can you do? So they said basically create your custom hooks, as we did weeks ago, right? See which hooks that you created can fit into there, right? And grab those different hooks to see what specific influencer might some resonate with them, right? So you went, and then they talked about maybe sending them a pitch with a small gift in snail mail, right? Not a bribe. But Julie talked about, there was one blogger, for instance, that did a lot of things with quotes, and Julie sent a mug with some verbiage on it, with a quote on there, just something simple as that, kind of like a thank you, and that was really helpful, right? And let's say we're going to go back to the Facebook group, because that's something we've been using a lot with our case study, and they say there's three things you want to help answer when you are responding to a question in a Facebook group. Number one, is it helpful to the topic? Two, is it polarizing, right, what you're answering? And three, or is it funny? So you must answer either one, two, or three. Either it must be helpful, must be polarizing, or it must be funny on a Facebook group, okay? Absolutely must. Okay, and then on Instagram, for instance, if you're going to say direct message them, you want to be as human as possible. That's super, super important. Then Stephen talked about in his coaching call on that, you need approximately about 1,000 true fans. Okay, if you can get 1,000 true fans that support you, you should be making about $1 million. Okay, all you need is 1,000 people that totally stand behind your company or you as the person, okay, entrepreneur. And then he also talked about, every funnel doesn't make money out of the door. Maybe it's the second round where you break even, you tweak some things, and maybe the third round is for every dollar you put in, you make $1.50. Okay, so not to give up. Okay, it's super, super important to realize that. Also, they talked about, it's really important to use influencers, because they already have a giant list that you don't have to start creating yourself. So sit back and let them do the work, okay? But again, they must trust you. You must bring something to the table. You must build some type of relationship with them. That's the key. You must build relationships with these dream 100 people, okay? And then Stephen also talked about, additional costs when you're doing your funnel. Your money, right, is faster than your time, right? So then you got to remember other people's money. You don't need it if you have a front end funnel, right? So you're not giving part of your company out. Have your funnel work for you, okay? And then your time, super valuable. And then do your duplicated time, okay, you talked about. So that was pretty helpful, all right? So again, these are some of the things that they discussed. Okay, your do's and don'ts on Facebook and on Instagram and podcasts. Okay, super, super helpful. And then they talked about the next one here is week 4, mission 4, buy your way in, right? And Russell talked about On YouTube, for instance, maybe you want to buy a ad on the channel itself, or maybe you want to possibly buy ads before the video or in the middle of the video. Okay, these are other things to consider. Julie talked about, make sure that you're Facebook compliant, right? You have to be really careful with Facebook because, what you can and cannot say. She also really was helpful how to pixel to track your ads, right, in each different step of the funnel, right? So what's your click through? How many % of people are landing on your squeeze page, and who's buying the one offer, the upsell or the downsell. Okay, she showed you step by step how to do that. Okay, and I highly recommend you save that video because it really showed you step by step how to do it. Again, I'm totally new to this space. I was a little it was a little overwhelming for me, but when I was able to pause it and then rewind and go back, you start understanding it. Okay. And then, she talked about your lead snippet and then your checkout to see how much money you're making on that ad, which is super important. So you can actually track the ad, right? To see, okay, when I run this ad in this funnel, this is how much money I should be making, or so you can try different things, okay? And then she talked about your campaign, right? When you do a campaign on Facebook, you want, there's either conversion you want to click on or traffic. Okay, and traffic, more people are going to see it. However, less people might actually buy the product. Where conversion, people already have bought similar products or that specific product, and they might be more likely to purchase it. They're in that niche already. Okay, and then here you could see Russell talked about, right, again, buying your way in, your hooks. So these are all your Dream 100 people right here. They're influencers, bloggers, podcasters, whatever. And you want to grab all these different hooks that you've developed in here. Okay, and you're going to see which one you can plug and play. Okay, to get those Dream 100 people to bite. Okay, and run with it. Okay, and Stephen also talked about. As you can see here on one of his coaching calls here, Stephen talked about, so he did a big Q&A question. That was the bulk of this coaching call because, again, this is towards the end of our funnel, right before to go live. And, a couple of things he talked about is, one, he does a lot of stuff with freelancer.com. Someone had asked, and Upwork, right? So besides Fiverr, he uses freelancer.com and Upwork a lot. And also talked about continuity. Someone had asked on the Facebook Live thing, continuity. You want to charge 6 months, but for the year, right? So because most people on continuity will stay maybe 4 to 5 months. So you want to charge that extra month. Okay, so you have that extra month wiggle room to run ads, which is helpful. Also had that ClickFunnels has a better email responder besides MailChimp, even though Steven started with MailChimp early on in his career. He says, he helped ClickFunnels develop something a lot better than MailChimp. Okay, so again, that was basically, buying your way in. And then here, which is week 4, mission 5, your funnel audibles, really talked about just kind of like tweaking things, okay, where 20% of people should opt in. 1 to 5% of people should buy the tripwire. 20 to 40% of the purchasers should take the order bump, and 3 to 10% of purchasers should take the OTO, right? So this is really helpful to see when you're developing your funnel to see if it's not working, what you need to tweak, okay? But they even went a step farther, and Julie actually created this Google Sheet that I'm going to show you, okay, where you can actually, and again, this is their numbers. They tell you to make a copy, and you can actually plug in, how much is your tripwire product? How much is your order bump? How much is your OTO? Based on the benchmark percentages we gave you, you should be at this % for your opt-in, your sales page, your bump-in, your OTO. You can expect these numbers based on the clicks over to the squeeze page, okay? People who opt in, sales page purchases, your order bump, and your OTO. So this will give you the most accurate numbers, okay? But again, you can't do this with a small pool of 100 people. You might need 1,000 people, 500 people, okay? So just because something's not showing that it's working, it might be working. You just don't have enough sales going through. So sometimes you must be patient, okay? So I thought that was super helpful. So again, this was the 30-day challenge of the One Funnel Away challenge from Real Review Hub. We're going to continue to document our case study, and we've also decided that we're going to try, when we have some time, develop some type of cliff notes to help you guys out if you don't have time to watch, because some of Steven's, for instance, coaching calls could be an hour, hour and a half, maybe to give you something that's a quick 3 or 4 minute video that you can watch, so if you're falling behind, you can kind of catch up. Okay, but to give you an idea where we're at, we are selling a physical product, Frank and I, and we've ordered our product from a manufacturer overseas, and we finished our logo. Right now, we're finishing up our packaging, our design. So we're we're ready to go live in a few weeks, hopefully. But some things that we've stumbled upon, realize you must purchase for the new time people, UPC codes. Okay, go online, do your research. We were able to find a company that sells them where you only have to pay a one-time fee for it. Some people now, they charge a yearly membership to renew it because the laws have changed. So if you find the right place to purchase it, you only have to pay for it one time per product. So that was super helpful. We are getting our, what else we're doing? We're basically, just really excited. We're really excited. We're almost ready to go live, like I said, and we're going to document this and give you more detail as it goes on. So again, I hope this has been helpful for those that have been following along. Remember to keep watching us at Real Review Hub for the One Funnel Away Challenge. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell when you can. And thanks for watching, guys, and please continue to watch us. Take care.